ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Thursday, February 13th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Welcome to the program. We're going to get your text in this hour. We do that every day on our Clark's Pump and Shop text line at 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. We got basketball action finally coming up tonight. The Herd taking on the South Alabama Jaguars. We've got that game for you. We go on the air at 7 o'clock with our expanded pregame coverage. We do that on 93.7 The Dog and, of course, right here. And then tip-off set for a little bit after 8 o'clock, right after the game. Stick around. We've got post-game coverage. We'll have expanded comments from head coach Cornelius Jackson. And, of course, we will hear from you on our Clark's Pump and Shop text line. So a full night of Herd basketball coming up, and we get underway again at 7 o'clock. Thanks for being a part of the show today, and hopefully we're going to have a long night together, and hopefully we're going to be talking about a win a little bit later on as well. This is a new series. South Alabama leads the all-time series 2-1. Won last year in Huntington 91-85. Both teams are tied in conference play, so this is a important game for both teams. You got to go back a ways. Other than the first meeting in Sun Belt play, these two teams met back in 1988. It was a win for Marshall. It was a home win for Marshall back on November 30th, and it was a 111-110 victory. And then South Alabama won the rematch, and that was on December 29th, same year, 1988. It was a 78-75 victory for South Alabama. And then these two teams met up on January 13th of last year, and it was a win for South Alabama, 91-85. So a short series. It's probably going to grow as Marshall and South Alabama stay in the Sun Belt. I'm intrigued by this one. This is a good matchup tonight. This is one that means a lot. There are so many teams right now battling for position in the tournament standings, and that's what I'm calling. I'm not calling it this. It's the tournament standings. It really is, because sure, you can finish and win the regular season crown, and that's great, but the number 2 team has just as much shot as you do, seeding-wise, and the number 3 and number 4 team almost have an equal shot as you do. Now, the number 14 team, that's going to be the kicker right there. Will a team from the bottom be able to work its way through the gauntlet? I'm still excited for this. I'm absolutely excited for this format. Only because, wouldn't it be something to see a team come almost all the way from the bottom? Now, of course, this Marshall's really high, and Marshall could drop a little bit. Nothing's set in stone just yet. Still 6 games to go for Marshall, so Marshall could maintain its spot, maybe overcome Alabama tonight, beat South Alabama, and, of course, with that win against Arkansas State, maybe the Herd can catch up and even overcome, be the number 1 team, win the regular season championship. See where I'm going with this? So there's still a lot. It can go either way, positive or negative. Of course, the Herd last 3 out on the road, all wins, so that should continue tonight if Marshall wants to stay in the hunt. I said it yesterday, Marshall needs to win. For me to feel good about just the tournament, the bracket, Marshall needs to win 3 out of the 4, I think. 4 would be optimal, absolutely. 3 would be okay. You lose 1 there, here or there. I get that. You can't stay perfect on the road trip. You can try, and if you can get it done, that's even better. But I think 3 out of 4 would be okay, and then come home, win those last 2 games, and then that might put you in a good spot for either 1 or 2, at worst 3 or 4, and I'm good with that seeding. You get a game before you play in the semifinals. So basically, quarterfinals or better, and I like Marshall's chances. Anything after that, I'm not so sure. Especially those middle slots, because you're going to be facing a team that's going to be on a run possibly, and so you're going to be a little rusty. That team's going to have gone through it maybe 1 or 2 times, and then that's where you'll be facing maybe a hot team. That's the one thing there. And, of course, that's going to be the challenge here. When you're in the semi, you start from the semi, you start from the quarterfinal. you might be going up a team that has kind of gotten hot. And this might defeat the purpose of making sure that the best teams have the best chance to get into the NCAA tournament. Or all that rest could just mean Marshall is ready to go and that team is tired. If a team does get hot, can it go the full length of the tournament? I'm hoping for Marshall's sake that Marshall gets one of those top spots, and then all that rest and all that extra preparation time, that pays off for the Thundering Herd. So that's going to be the fun part, just to see how this works out with the tournament. Again, the tournament's the ticket to the NCAA tournament, for good or for bad. If Marshall wins the regular season crown and then falls in the tournament, it's going to be a disappointing season. If Marshall doesn't win the regular season crown and then wins the tournament, it's going to be a great season. You're going to the NCAA tournament. So it has its pluses and its minuses. We'll talk more about the game coming up, and we'll get your text again from the Clark's Pump and Shop text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. The women are in action tonight at the Cam Henderson Center for those of you heading over. 6 o'clock tip, taking on Old Dominion. And that's going to be an interesting next few hours for the Thundering Herd. Marshall needs to start stacking some wins up quick. Marshall's going to be starting on the women's side a lot earlier, I think, than the men. So we'll get a chance to see what this tournament looks like. Can Coach Folks and her squad get hot now? This will be the right time to do that. And I'm not talking the last game or two. I'm thinking if you want to have a legitimate shot at this, you got to get hot now. You can't wait. Oh, hey, we played well in our last game. Not for me. You got to start winning some games now. You got to get hot. You got to start building some momentum. I want to see momentum building 6 games out, not 2 games out. If you're peaking, if you're showing me that you're almost there, I'm good. But you get a lucky win the last game, that's not momentum for me. That's just a easy talking point. Hey, we finished strong in the regular season. No, I want to see momentum now. So a different outlook for the women. For the men, keep the momentum. I want to see the Herd play strong on the road. I want to see the Herd finish strong on the road. And then I want to see Marshall come home and win out. That's what would make me feel good about the impending tournament run. Stay consistent on the road, play strong, win 3 minimum, come home, finish out strong, win the last 2, go into the tournament. Feel good about the chances of Coach Jackson's squad. There's some momentum there, and you'll have a good seed, so you'll have an opportunity to be rested and hopefully well prepared. And you get to see how this tournament plays out a little bit as well. That's going to be the interesting thing for me and how Coach approaches it. We'll know more when the seedings are announced, but of course we won't know until the end of the regular season what that's going to look like. I'm hoping at that point Marshall has put itself in a position we kind of have a good idea if Marshall's going to be anywhere from 1 to 4. We'll get your text in when we continue. We'll do that next. And, of course, we got a lot more to get into. As you mentioned, the men are playing tonight. South Alabama on the road. The women tipping off at 6 o'clock, taking on Old Dominion. We've got some other things happening as well. Track and Field's got an event coming up on Friday, the Marshall Invitational. The tennis team's going to be on the road Friday, taking on Virginia Tech. Big match for the Thundering Herd there. And, of course, we will get into the news of the day when we continue with this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This Valentine's Day weekend, stake your claim on love at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Treat your special someone to a sizzling steak dinner that's big on romance, but easy on your wallet. For just $24.99, indulge in a perfectly grilled center-cut ribeye or New York strip paired with 2 signature sides, all in a cozy, unforgettable atmosphere, because love should be well done.
But you can make mine medium rare.
Reserve your table now. Call 304-697-9800. Available all Valentine's weekend, Friday through Sunday at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Get ready to hit the road with GoMart. Each month, we're featuring a special item to fuel your journey and score you bonus reward points in our Road to Rewards promotion. Each purchase earns you a token, so load up and keep cruising toward big rewards. Plus, the top 25 token earners each month will receive 5,000 additional bonus reward points. Check the GoMart app to see this month's featured item. And as always, earn additional savings on products store-wide with reward member exclusives. Go to GoMart.com for more details.
Race to savings at Menards for products to update your home. Get a paint that combines durability with gorgeous color. Dutch Boys Platinum Plus is a paint and primer with a protective finish that guards against scuffs, spills, and stains. And when you apply Dutch Boy with the finest painting tools from Purdy, transforming your home has never been easier. Refresh your home today with paint from Dutch Boy. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com and race to savings on great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Marshall tonight getting set to take on South Alabama, Mitchell Center in Mobile, Alabama. Marshall coming into this one 15-10, 8-4 in Sun Belt play. The Jaguars are a little bit better, 16-9, but 8-4 in league play. South Alabama leads the all-time series 2-1, including a 91-85 win in Huntington last year. This is an important game. We're getting to that point. You look at the standings, and you see that Marshall and South Alabama are in a fight for that top spot. Right now, Arkansas State 10-3. Arkansas State, I think, has an easy path to the championship, at least the regular season championship. It's not that easy, but they have a fairly easy path if that team doesn't stumble. Troy's coming up. Got a win over Southern Miss, a dominating win over Southern Miss, 101-67. And so Troy's coming up. That's coming up on Saturday. And then the team Marshall's facing tonight, South Alabama. The rest of the way, it's UL Monroe, Louisiana, then UL Monroe. The last two on the road. So right now, a 4-game homestand for the Red Wolves. Anything can happen, but that's an easy path, I think. And then the teams that Marshall will be competing against. Because right now, everybody is a game and a half back except for Troy in that cluster. And that's because, of course, we've got games already in hand. So after tonight, there's still going to be that cluster. Troy could do us a solid and beat Arkansas State. And then Troy's path is Louisiana, Coastal Carolina, Texas State, and Southern Miss. It's going to be a slight slugfest, I think, getting to that top spot. So here we are. South Alabama, App State, James Madison, Marshall. Right now, game and a half back. Marshall, the rest of the way, doesn't get any easier. Louisiana, Old Dominion, App State twice. In the middle of App State is the rematch with Old Dominion. How do you think Marshall fares the rest of the way? Can Marshall go 6-0 the rest of the way? What are you taking on that? Will you take that 6-0 rest of the way? Could Marshall finish anywhere from, let's say, just on the low end, 3-3? I'm going to go 3-3. That's my low end. 3-3, 4-2, 5-1, or 6-0. I will not accept anything lower than 3. Does Marshall go 3-3 the rest of the way, or does Marshall pull out some wins here on the road and possibly could be flirting with 5-1 or 6-0? At this point, if Marshall finishes strong but still doesn't win the regular season championship, does that matter? Because the regular season championship is not going to get you into the NCAA tournament. And I don't know if any team could really lay claim to an at-large bid, to be quite honest. Sunbelt's a one-bid league. If you look at the win percentages here, I wouldn't bet on any team getting outside. If Arkansas State would happen to win the regular season crown and then fall in the tournament, here's the question. Arkansas State loses, say, in the championship, or Arkansas State loses in the semifinals. Does that hurt? Does that hurt Arkansas State's chances of maybe getting a very iffy at-large, which I don't know if it's possible? They're 19-7. Do they have some signature wins on the schedule? Well, beat Memphis, lost to Alabama, and it wasn't actually a bad loss. 88-79 wasn't a bad loss. Just based on the strength, though, of the league, and didn't do itself any favors. After losing to Marshall, went to Kent State and lost that game, so didn't do itself any favors. Beating Southern Miss is not exactly impressive. So this is a one-bid league because South Alabama is good, but I don't think they're going to be able to muster a bid. And this is all hypotheticals right now. Just looking at these standings, it's all hypotheticals. Looking at resumes, there's not a single team here that I can look at and say, okay, this is a team that's got a shot. But of all the teams, the resume is a little stronger for Arkansas State than, say, Troy. Arkansas State at least has a victory over an AP and a coaches poll team, 1-1 in those matchups. Troy's 0-2 in those matchups. Every other team that has a legitimate shot of winning in the tournament doesn't have that signature win. Marshall right now sitting at 15-10. That's definitely not going to get it done. James Madison's not going to get it done. App State's not going to get it done. Arkansas State's pretty much the outside shot looking in if, say, a team from the bottom. And right now, here's what the bottom looks like. It's Coastal Carolina, UL Monroe, Louisiana, Southern Miss. Arkansas State beats UL Monroe twice. What's that do for Arkansas State other than guarantee you get the top spot in the tournament? And so it's important that Marshall can finish strong. Hope that Arkansas State trips up somewhere. And the only place I can see Arkansas State tripping up would either be against Troy or South Alabama. You get past those two, they're not losing to UL Monroe. They're not losing to Louisiana. On the other hand, for the Thundering Herd, Marshall's got the tougher road trip. Marshall's got the tougher journey here because I think South Alabama is going to be good, going to be a challenge. I think Old Dominion is going to be interesting, and App State's going to be interesting as well. But the good news here, here's the thing. This is the good news. After you get past South Alabama, I think Louisiana is winnable. I think Old Dominion is winnable, even though Old Dominion is right behind Marshall, 7-5 in league play. I'm not dismissing Old Dominion, but I think that's winnable. App State, if this was football, this would be super fun. If this is basketball, it's going to even be better because both teams right now are also in that tie 1.5 games back, and that's going to be a little clearer after tonight. So winnable, yes. Doable, possibly. But I think for the most part, other than Louisiana, all these games are going to be tough challenges for the Thundering Herd, and it's going to be a toss-up right now. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 is our text line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Right now, it looks like South Alabama is a 4.5-point favorite in this game. That's according to ESPN Bet. ESPN Analytics has South Alabama with a 71.5% probability of winning the matchup tonight. That doesn't bode well for the Thundering Herd, but again, what do the analytics know? Marshall's been pretty strong. Other than that loss against Georgia State, Marshall's been pretty solid as of late, and South Alabama coming in kind of spotty. Now keep this in mind. South Alabama with a loss against Akron, but wins against Coastal Carolina and the Ragin' Cajuns, but lost 2 straight to ULM. Keep that in mind as well. And this is a team that is favored tonight to beat the Herd. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Your text coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicki Tabor, 304-272-5149.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want. From the biggest game in professional football, NBA, NCAA basketball, and the NHL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
This February, make date night unforgettable at Dave & Buster's at the Huntington Mall with a Thursday date night duo deal. Every Thursday and Valentine's Day night, enjoy the date night duo deal. That's 2 eat and play combos, 1 dessert to share, and a date night challenge card. All for just $40. A deal so good it's worth falling for. Celebrate love, laughter, and a little friendly competition every Thursday in February and Valentine's Day night. Only at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Looking for the perfect Valentine's Day gift? Show your love this Valentine's Day with 50% off all gift cards at Thoroughbred Express. Perfect for your car-loving friends, family, or even yourself. Or unlimited membership means you can keep your ride sparkling all year long. No matter what winter throws your way, enjoy premium amenities, top-notch service, and the clean car you deserve. Join the winner's circle with Thoroughbred Express.
160,000 kids stay home from school every day for the same reason: bullying. This is Dale Lee, president of the West Virginia Education Association. Bullying impacts nearly 1/3 of all students every year, but parents, educators, and concerned adults can make a difference. It takes just one caring adult to intervene and help stop the bullying. Victims need an adult that will listen, will stand up for them, and most importantly, show them that they are not alone. Bullying and cyberbullying have far-reaching effects, from a decline in academic performance to physical illness, depression, or worse. Help us create a safe, bully-free learning environment for all students in West Virginia. One caring adult can make all the difference. Take the pledge to be that adult at nea.org/bullyfree.
A message from the West Virginia Education Association.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Our Clark's Pump and Shop text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome back to this Thursday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Basketball action coming up tonight. Airtime, 7 o'clock as the Herd getting set to take on South Alabama. We'll have tip-off a little bit after 8 o'clock, and then stick around afterwards. We'll have reaction from the head coach, Cornelius Jackson. Our post-game coverage will continue after Steve Cotton and the network ends. We will pick up and take you the rest of the way, all right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and on 93.7 The Dog. Of course, we'll have results as well of the women's matchup. Tipping off tonight, 6 o'clock for those of you heading over to the Henderson Center. You still got time. Taking on Old Dominion tonight. Must win for the Thundering Herd. Absolutely. All these games are must win. We're at that point now in the season where all these games are must win. Unfortunately, that is easier said than done. I know it's cliche. It's absolutely cliche to say that. But all of these games are absolutely must win. And there's only two other matchups in the women's side tonight. James Madison is playing Appalachian State as we speak and winning that one 28-17. And South Alabama on the women's side lost in double overtime to Georgia State 78-69. So this will be the only game of consequence coming up tonight on the women's side. This is a must win. Old Dominion 14-11, 6-6 in league play. Marshall just 2-10 in Sun Belt play. So it's been a difficult year for basketball fans who have followed the women's team. That amazing run last season is done. But the way this tournament is set up, anything could happen. It's crazy. Because it looks like right now on the women's side, if everything holds, and I don't anticipate too much of a switch, South Alabama is dead last on the women's side. And then the Thundering Herd is next to last. Georgia Southern is ahead of Marshall 3-10. And then you get a couple of teams that are near the bottom. Texas State, Southern Miss, both 4-9. UL Monroe is 5-8. So Marshall would have to make a heck of a run to try to get out of that first day of the tournament. And I don't know if the schedule really allows for that, because after Old Dominion, it's a home game against Coastal Carolina, and then 2 on the road against App State, and then 2 home games against UL Monroe and Georgia State. Is it doable? Could Marshall maybe go on a run? I hope so. That's the question. Can Marshall get hot here at the right time before the tournament? Of course, our focus is on the men. That's coming up tonight, and we'll have it for you starting at 7 o'clock. And again, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 or on 93.7 The Dog. And, of course, it's a full night of league action as well. We're going to keep you updated on everything, scoreboard included. There are a few matchups that we are going to keep our eye on, especially. First of all, we're going to keep an eye on that James Madison, Georgia Southern matchup. That's one of those teams that Marshall is tied with. Then there's Georgia State playing host to Old Dominion. Old Dominion right behind the Herd. And then App State and Coastal Carolina. Could Coastal Carolina, 1-10 in league play, pull up the upset against App State? I don't know. And then Texas State and UL Monroe, a couple of the bottom teams. Of course, UL Monroe 2-10 in league play. So really the biggest matchup tonight in league play is Marshall and South Alabama, both 8-4. Hoping that Georgia Southern can beat James Madison. If we're gaming this now, we're hoping that Georgia Southern gets the win, and then Georgia State could maybe knock off Old Dominion, and then Coastal Carolina could pull something crazy and get a win against App State. If Marshall wins, and then Marshall's looking a little bit better. But really, Thursday's not really where the action's at. Saturday's where all the action seems to be. There's some good matchups on Saturday, but we'll look ahead to that a little bit later on. The one that we've been talking about is Troy and Arkansas State. At this point, I think you're rooting for Troy. You're rooting for Troy in this one, I would think. Or you hope that Arkansas State would stumble somewhere else, but I think you're rooting for Troy in this one. We've got other news of the day to get into. We'll do that when we continue, and we'll get your text. Our Clark's Pump and Shop text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA. Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want. From the biggest game in professional football, NBA, NCAA basketball, and the NHL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Race to savings at Menards and start updating your home today. We offer the largest in-stock selection of home appliances that are ready to take home today, including Criterion refrigerators, freezers, dishwashers, and laundry appliances. They're built to make your life simple, no matter how busy life gets. Criterion appliances are ready when you are. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com and race to savings on all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is happening now. Get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
This February, make date night unforgettable at Dave & Buster's at the Huntington Mall with a Thursday date night duo deal. Every Thursday and Valentine's Day night, enjoy the date night duo deal. That's 2 eat and play combos, 1 dessert to share, and a date night challenge card. All for just $40. A deal so good it's worth falling for. Celebrate love, laughter, and a little friendly competition every Thursday in February and Valentine's Day night. Only at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. Hey, Cecilia, it's February, the month of love.
It sure is, and I'll tell you something I love. I love the great specials at Clark's Pump and Shop.
Assorted Hershey's, Kit Kat, Reese's King Size Candy Bars, 2 for $4.
And assorted Mars, Snickers, and M&M's share size candy bars, 2 for $4.50. Big John, all that chocolate just melts my heart.
I thought I melted your heart.
More like you turn it cold.
Hey, get the rest of this month's specials on the Clark's Pump and Shop app from your app store.
And you could return, refresh, and refuel
at Clark's Pump and Shop.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Final segment for today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Marshall getting set to take on South Alabama. We got that one coming up tonight. We go on the air at 7 o'clock. You can listen to it here or on 93.7 The Dog, and then stick around after the game. We'll be right back here to break it all down with our post-game coverage right here again, either on 93.7 The Dog or ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So I was in a funk today. I was trying to figure out, why am I in a funk today? What is it about today that's kind of got me down? And then, of course, social media reminded me. On this very day, on February 13th, 2022, it was the Los Angeles Rams defeating the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20. Sorry if I am making your day less bright. I've just been in a funk all day. Why am I in this funk? It's because the Bengals got robbed. Super Bowl 56. Last time the Bengals were in the Super Bowl and lost to the Rams. It's going to be okay, though. It's going to be okay. Joe Burrow is going to get it done, restructure the deal, going to keep all the weapons. The draft is going to be good to the Bengals. It's all going to be good. Promise you. Absolutely promise you. I'm not promising you anything, but that's where we're at. All right, let's get our text in, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, Marshall will lose this one tonight by 10. Thundering Herd will get into foul trouble and fall apart. Obina and Chili Killen has got to stay on the court. Appreciate the text. Also from the text line, 304-396-TALK, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. Thundering Herd cannot win the next 6 games. Best that Marshall can do is 4-2, but finish strong at home and get into the tournament, get a couple of wins, get to the NCAA tournament. All right, appreciate that as well. So 4-2 is what you're thinking. And we asked that earlier. Can Marshall finish 6 games left, 4 on the road, and then the final 2 at home? Can Marshall, and my low number is 3-3. 2-4, I'm not even accepting that. So low number, 3-3. So can Marshall finish 6-0, 5-1? I'll be okay with that. 4-2, 3-3. Last 6, how does the Thundering Herd perform? Can Marshall go on the road, get the next 4, then come home and close it out? Or will Marshall have some struggles? And here's the other thing to keep in mind. You go on the road, and then you come right back, and you got to face those same teams. That's the challenge right there. Can you beat the same team twice? You face South Alabama, you might not see South Alabama until the tournament. You might not see them at all, but you might see them in the tournament. Louisiana, you might see them in the tournament. So it'll be a little while before you see both of those teams. Old Dominion, see them on the 20th, and then App State on the 22nd, turn right back around, you see Old Dominion again on the 25th, and then App State on the 28th. And could Marshall figure it out and turn it around? I mean, Marshall got the win against James Madison, then 2 games later, lost to James Madison. Marshall got the win against Georgia State, and then 2 games later, lost to Georgia State. I don't want to say there's a trend here, but could Marshall get the win against Old Dominion and then lose at home against Old Dominion? Could Marshall get the win against App State and then lose at home against App State? I think that's a concern right there. You might get them the first time. Can you get them the second time? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says Marshall wins by 15 tonight. That's a possibility. I appreciate the text. That's a strong possibility. This is a team that likes to let you shoot the 3. Going to play the zone, likes to let you shoot the 3. Marshall's got to be very selective on those 3-point shots. It's an aggressive zone. It's a team that is one of the leaders in steals. That's going to be a big storyline to watch. Can Marshall protect the ball? I mean, you got to do that every game, but can you protect the ball? If not, this is a team that will pick your pocket. And so Marshall's got to be aware that there's going to be an active defense. You're going to have to be a little bit more aware of where you're at on the court. Coach Jackson said it best. Hey, how do we break the zone? Well, you get a stop and then get into transition. Absolutely. That's what you need to do. So we're going to break this one down further for you tonight. We'll come up at 7 o'clock with our preview here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Jaguars are pretty good. They are first in the Sun Belt Conference in field goal defense and third in three-point defense and lead the league in steals at 9.5, averaging over 15 assists per game. It causes havoc, and it's been very good at keeping teams from average. But then you look at it and go, what happened against Akron? Here's what happened against Akron. Akron shot the lights out from the three-point line. That's what happened. Gave up a lot of three-point shots. That's what really stood out to me when I looked at that game. And Coach was right. They're going to let you shoot the three. And Akron was able to take advantage of that and really put up, I think Akron took up, over 40 three-point shots? I think that's what it was, over 40 three-point shots. That's insane. And so I'm hoping that Marshall can take advantage of that tonight. Yeah, here it is. From the three-point line, Akron shot 19 of 45 in that game. 19 of 45. South Alabama shot 6 of 23 from the three-point line. I mean, that's a big difference there. 19 of 45 is what Akron hit. For the game, Akron shot 28 of 61. 28 of 61. So take away the 19, and Akron didn't attempt too many regular shots. That's unreal for me. 19 of 45. So I'm hoping that Marshall sees that, and if the herd's hot from the three-point line, I guess the green light is good. Fire away. But if Marshall is not hot from the three-point line, got to go inside. Nate Martin, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our number to be a part of the program. We're going to do it again coming up. And about an hour from now, we have got our pregame coverage starting at 7 o'clock. That'll be right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And, of course, after the game, stick around. We've got our postgame coverage coming up. And we'll talk about the game. We'll break it down. Hopefully the herd will have the win against South Alabama, and Marshall can inch up a little bit closer to that, at least the number 2 spot. I'd like by the weekend Marshall to be firm number 2. And if Marshall is firm number 2, then we're going to be okay and have a chance at maybe catching up against Arkansas State. That's what I'm looking for out of the Thundering Herd on this one. So we are about out of time. We're going to wrap the show up by thanking everyone tonight. We'll be back with you in about an hour here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And then we'll be also on 93.7 The Dog with our pregame coverage. It'll begin top of the hour, 7 o'clock, Thundering Herd, taking on South Alabama. And if you can't watch it, don't worry. We got you covered. It's going to be right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 and on 93.7 The Dog. And with that music, that's time to go. I'll be back with you in an hour. Stick around. More sports coming up next with the Statewide Sports Line here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.